This is a DVD review of this, A Haunting in Connecticut. Just got through watching it. I actually bought this several months ago at Walmart. I think it cost like $5. And I just now watched it, and it is really, really good. This is the true story of a family. I know the glare kind of makes it hard to see, but there you are, Haunting in Connecticut. There you go. This is the true story of a family who moved into a home in Connecticut. They originally lived in New York State, but what they did was they moved to Connecticut to be closer to a treatment facility for their son, who was suffering from cancer. Their son Paul. The couple was Ed and Karen Parker, and they had other children in the house, and they moved to this home, and the two sons, the two oldest boys in the family, Paul, the cancer victim, and Bobby, they actually lived in a room downstairs in the basement. And actually their room was right next door to a little room which was actually once a morgue. The whole house was once a funeral home. I mean, they didn't realize it. Nobody had said anything about that. That was the reason the family was able to get the house for such an inexpensive price. And the boys were the ones who really started noticing unusual occurrences downstairs. They were seeing entities in the laboratory, right next to their bedroom. And they told their parents about it every night, that they were having visitations from spirits, and their parents didn't believe them. Their parents did not believe them. Meanwhile, Paul kept getting treatment for his cancer at the nearby hospital, and eventually Karen's niece, Teresa, came to visit, and she stayed with the family for the duration of this story. And eventually what happened was Paul became possessed by this demonic entity, and he got so out of control that he was forced to move out of the house, and he was put into a mental institution, unfortunately. And what eventually happened was the family eventually began experiencing these strange happenings themselves. So they contacted demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren. Of course, they are well known in the paranormal world. Ed and Lorraine also contacted demonologist John Zaffis. And they came to the house and they did testing, and they looked into what was going on in the house. And they witnessed a few things. They witnessed what appeared to be temporary possession of Karen. And what they were wanting to do was they were wanting to get the Catholic Church to give permission to perform an exorcism in the house. What happened was Zaffis had an unusual experience where he was about to go down into the basement area, and all of a sudden he saw this entity which is only known as the Man in the Suit, a demonic entity with red eyes. He had a full beard and he had red eyes. He had a dark suit on, and he had an experience, and it frightened him so badly he left the house and never went back. He said, he said, "I'm leaving this up to you, Ed and Lorraine. I am leaving. This is too creepy for me." And he left it in the hands of Ed and Lorraine Warren, who had a Catholic priest come and examine the house. The Catholic priest, Father Frank, came and gave a report to the church, and then they sent another priest, Father Richard, to the house, who he experienced some very unusual activity, especially in the basement area where the morgue was, and eventually they had an exorcism. There were some unusual things that happened to Karen and Teresa, but eventually they did get rid of the spirits, and the family moved out of the house, and they had their son released from the mental institution, referring to Paul. And that was how it ended. This is a very compelling story. It's a true story. They actually made a feature-length film on this story called The Haunting in Connecticut. This is not to be confused with that. This is from the Discovery Channel series A Haunting. The case actually occurred in 1986, and this was actually the first episode of the series A Haunting. And yeah, this is really good. This is frightening, scary as anything. I give it a 5 out of 5 stars. I recommend getting this. You might be able to find it at your local Walmart for about $5. I do recommend getting this, especially if you like a good ghost story or a good demonic possession story. Get this DVD. It's really, really good.